Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction for FC Astana versus Manchester United, plus some topical bits as well. We will be talking about Bruno Fernandes, but I've got a smile on my face because the United stand has flown all the way out to Kazakhstan. Flex and Josh have gone out there to do their normal bits, and I've just listened to the press conference, and I knew Flex was in it, and he's asked OLE a question in the press conference, and we moan and moan and moan. We moan and moan and moan about the quality of the questions that get asked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Flex did message me a couple of hours ago and said, have you got a question in case I get one asked? And I said, yeah, do ask him this. I mean, obviously, how long are you going to last in a job? Who are you going to sign in January? He ain't going to answer those sort of questions. But what he did ask was, in light of the injuries and the setbacks in the league, are the cups, where we've done well in the Europa League and the Carabao Cup, are they the priority for Manchester United this season now? And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has answered that question and said, look, the league is gone. We're too far behind in the league. The cups are a chance to win something, so we're taking them very seriously. And I think, look, maybe that's an obvious answer, maybe it's not. But I think that to me, I don't think United realistically think that top four is possible, and it isn't at the moment. We're a long, long way behind. I think we're 12 points behind now, or 11 points, and we'll probably be further by Christmas. But the Europa League is an opportunity to get into the Champions League, and the Carabao Cup is an opportunity to get into the Europa League, I believe. So, cups for Manchester United are important, and also not only are they important, but they're also, if you are still one of these people who believe that we have a future under Ole and with this team, then cup competitions tend to be the area that you do well in, because the consistency of the league is hard when you're an inconsistent team. But the league, the cup competitions, you can just focus in on. So it'd be interesting to see about that. But there are some points I want to get to on the press conference. But what I want to say to start off with is Manchester United at the moment. Manchester United are a good team. This is nothing to do with Astana. I just want to say this. Manchester United are a good team. Rashford's on fire. Martial's a very good player. Dan James is a good signing. Wan-Bissaka's a good signing. Harry Maguire's a good signing. David De Gea's a world-class goalkeeper. Lindelof's good. Twansibi's good. Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams. Fred looks okay. McTominay looks good. We've got a good team at Manchester United. We need to add to that team. We definitely do. But let's not lie. We've got a good team. I expected this season we would be fighting for 5th or 6th. At the moment, we're stuck in mid-table. We're way below where I expected us to be. Whatever you think about United, it's not all doom and gloom. There is money if we spend it, and there are players that I believe are a good platform to build upon. The question I believe that has come about that many of us didn't think, many of us thought that midfield's crap. We're going to struggle this season. And the midfield is crap, and we are struggling this season. But I don't think we expected us to struggle this much, and I think we all accept that we should be doing better with this team than we are. The question is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is he the right man to build this club up again? Has he got the quality? And that's where I am at as a fan at the moment. These next few weeks are critical because Solskjaer at the moment, some are in, some are out, some are unsure. He is not doing as much as he should have been doing, and he is the man in the spotlight at the moment, and that is the question. The bigger questions about whether we're going to spend money, etc., are very relevant. But the problem we have at the moment is this manager the right man for Manchester United? And that's what we're going to find out over the next few weeks. He was also asked a very, very good question, because Gary Neville said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to protect his own future at Manchester United, has got to go and sign players of experience in January. That question was put to Solskjaer, and Solskjaer said this: I make every decision which I think is best for Manchester United. So every decision he makes is best for Manchester United as far as he concerns. Some would say that's an odd reply to a question about signing players, but to me, that question is, are you signing players in January? To which he replies, I will make the decisions that I believe are best for Manchester United. Doesn't mean he's going to sign players, doesn't mean he's not. What he's saying is, I make the decisions that I think are best for this football club. So, very vague answer, very deliberate answer, very firm answer. Take it as you like. I would take that I expect signings in January off that. I will make the decisions that are best for Manchester United. If he doesn't make signings in January, that's not best for Manchester United. He might think it's best for us not to buy in January. He might think it's best to wait till the summer. But is that what's best for Manchester United? No, I don't think it is. I think if you're looking to win the Europa League, there are players that you can buy in January that will play in the Europa League and give us a better chance of winning the Europa League. If you've got an outside chance of getting top four, there are players you can buy in January to get us top four. This season's not over. January is hard to do business in, but we failed last summer. We must do business in January. And if he's saying I make decisions that are best for Manchester United, then that to me means he's signing players in January, because we need players. Half of the season's done in January. We're not writing off the whole season. There's an opportunity there. What if we don't bring players in January? We continue to struggle. We miss out on the Europa League and we miss out on the Champions League and we end up with nothing. Spend the money. Get the players in. There are players out there. So I think, to me, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is switched on and is doing things best for Manchester United, he will get players in January. Like Gary Neville said, I think he has to. And like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sort of said there, I will do what's best for Manchester United. And that, to me, is buying players. Who that's going to be, well, that's a whole new other question, isn't it? He also spoke about common sense to leave the experienced players behind. But let me just speak about the young players, because I just want to bring up a little graphic here that I'm very, very proud of. I'm very, very proud of this. It looks like on one of the hardest games to predict the 11, I've got the 11 right, because Ollie has confirmed that Grant will play in goal, Bernard will start, Levitt will start, and Ethan Lard will start as well. So that would mean that I've got the team right, because Grant's in goal, Lard right back, Twansibian, Bernard, Shaw, Garner, Levitt, Lingard, Gomez, Greenwood, Chong. So that's your team. That's your team for tomorrow night's game, as confirmed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on who the debutants will be: Bernard, Levitt and Lard. So there you go. That's what's going to happen. He said that it's going to be... Well, I mean, look, I agree with Ole on this, I've got to say. Let me just get rid of that for the moment, because it's cutting off a bit of my arm. I would... Freddie Mercury says, congratulations to you, Flex, and the United stand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the clip and put it up on our social media when we finish this. But Flex asked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a question in the press conference, which I covered at the start of the video. Smash a like on the video. The community and the United stand keeps growing, and it actually has. The United stand asked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a question today. I think that's fantastic, isn't it? It's a first of many, I hope. Ollie said that he's really looking forward to the game, the debuts, and it's a fantastic opportunity. And I think this is what I was saying in the preview yesterday, and I agree with this. This game against Astana, I'm looking forward to it anyway. 4 o'clock kickoff on a Thursday, back of the net. I know some of you might be in work or whatever, but get off early, get down the pub, Christmas market, whatever. I will be watching it at 4 o'clock, watch along as per usual, and I'm excited. A nice 4 o'clock kickoff. We'll have some of that. We're approaching Christmas. It's going to be snowing over there. And it's a free hit. We've qualified. And whatever you think about the Europa League, and I think we've rode our luck a little bit. Astana, we only beat 1-0 at Old Trafford with an experienced team, and here we are playing them with a youth team. Exciting. But we've qualified. We've got hard games to come: Villa, Spurs and City next week. So by getting that qualification and not bringing all the first teamers, they have a rest. They don't have to fly over to Kazakhstan. And in a competitive Europa League game against a team that will want to beat us, we get to throw in all these youngsters for Manchester United debuts. That's not a pre-season tour. It's not a second leg Carabao Cup game or whatever. This is a Europa League game away from home in an intimidating atmosphere against a decent side for a youth team to play in a competitive game. So I'm excited by it. It's a fantastic opportunity. Like Ollie says, it is a fantastic opportunity for these lads. A lot of them will never be Manchester United players. They won't. A lot of them won't be Manchester United players, but some of them might. And it's just exciting. It's exciting. I mean, how excited would you be in a game that we've already qualified in if you saw Rojo and Mata and Jones? You wouldn't be excited by that. We're going to see players tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, that we haven't seen before. He says he thinks it's going to be a tight game, but it will be a good game. I want to bring in here Lingard. He wasn't actually mentioned in the live comments, but in the live press conference, sorry. But I do want to bring Lingard in here, because I think that with regards to Lingard, he will probably be captain for Manchester United tomorrow. He is the leader tomorrow. Some would say, and some have said on social media, this is the downside. All these young players going on out there with Manchester United, and who's their bloody role model? Lingard. You know, you really want a Roy Keane or a Steve Bruce or a Vidic or a Cantona, someone with a bit of class taking these youngsters out there. And we've got Lingard and he's bloody dabbing. But I don't know. I mean, and what I would say is I don't really care about all the dancing and everything like that, and whether he's a bit of a plonker as a role model. I don't know the lad. I don't know. That's irrelevant to me. I don't care. I don't care if he's a brilliant role model off the pitch or a bit of a clown off the pitch. You know, make your mind up. That's up to you. What I do care is about what he is on the pitch. And I think he's a very lucky man. And I call him a man because all this joke about him being 17, he's 27. He's a man and he needs to lead. And he's got a team of teenagers and he needs to lead. And he's very lucky to be in that position because for the last 2 years, and it is nearly 2 years now since Messi Lingard's golden 2 months, for the last 2 years he's been ridiculously, I'm going to be kind and say average. I could have said a word that rhymes with rap and starts with C. For the last 2 years he's been ridiculously average. He doesn't deserve this opportunity to be leading out a team of youngsters because he's been poor. But he's been given it. So I hope that he doesn't waste that opportunity. For me, Lingard's got to come off that pitch tomorrow and be one of the best players on the pitch. He's the leader. Everyone looks up to him. What he can't have happen is a load of youngsters turning up and not playing well against. You can't come off that pitch and have a load of youngsters having a better performance than him, to be honest with you. So there you go. But the reality is, I hope Lingard does have a good game because I don't want to compare Lingard to Ollie because I'm going to get pelters for this, but there is a similarity here. If you're asking me what's the best, if I'm Goldbridge the genie and you give me a rub, not like that, and I get 2 wishes, you can decide Ollie's future and Lingard's future, right? 2 wishes. Whatever you wish happens. Lingard is left in Kazakhstan playing for Astana for the rest of his career, and Ollie is the coach, and you come back and you get a new manager and new player, or you keep them. God's honest truth. If I had the wish, my wish would be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer turns this around and takes us on to be Premier League champions over the next 2 years or 3 years. That would be my wish. If I had the wish with Jesse Lingard, my wish would be Jesse Lingard finds that 2-month form from 2 years ago, continues to play like that for the next 5 years, and becomes a key part of our team. I wouldn't. If I had the wish, I wouldn't get rid of them. The wish would be to make them good. And I struggle why nobody else wouldn't agree with that. If you're telling me I can sack Ollie or he can be our manager and we win the title, of course I'm going to have Ollie as the title winner. If you can tell me I can sack Lingard or he can come back and be one of our best players for the next 5 years, I'm going to have Lingard as our best player. And the reason is, I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a legend of the club, so of course I would love him to succeed. And Lingard, whatever you think about him, he's come through our youth setup. He's been here his whole life. And I want him to do well. I think people sometimes confuse themselves with the negativity. But for me, I'm very clear on this. I want these people to succeed. I'll be highly critical of them because that's what fans should do, I believe, when they're not performing. And it's an entertainment business. And you don't applaud mediocre performances or bad performances. But I really hope they can turn it around. Of course, I would need a wish for them both to turn it around because it's not going to happen. Lingard's not going to be one of our best players again. I just don't see it. I think if he can find some sort of form to be a decent bench player, fair enough. But I would like them to turn it around. Jose made a change after 26 minutes when things wasn't going well for Spurs yesterday. Didn't see Ollie do that at Sheffield United, and I couldn't imagine him doing that in the future. Jordan such. Jordan, that's smack in the middle of this press conference chat, but I'm happy to bring it in because one, you've made a contribution, but two, I think it's a very, very good point. Look, Mourinho deserved the sack at United, but let's take away that Mourinho used to be at United because I think Mourinho's not United's manager anymore. He's never going to be our manager. He got the sack. No matter how much we lament about it, it's done. It's in the past. So we move on. To look at Mourinho as a manager and compare him to Ollie, I think is absolutely fine in the now. And those two performances are very, very similar. 2-0 down, albeit Sheffield United scored their second in the second half. But Mourinho instantly realises that he doesn't need Winks and Dyer in the midfield when you're 2-0 down. Takes Dyer off, brings Eriksen on. Changes the game. Ollie, at the weekend, 3-5-2, 1-0 down because of Phil Jones. Continued to be under pressure all through the first half. After half an hour, just like Jose did last night, he should have gone, I've made a mistake. Jones is awful. His confidence is shot. The team is playing crap. Take him off after half an hour and get Lingard on then. That should have happened, and I agree with Jordan on that. That A lot of people were talking about that on social media last night, and a lot of people were ridiculing it, saying you can't compare. But actually, it's a spot-on observation. Mourinho saw that tactically he'd got it wrong, and he changed it after 23 minutes. Ole didn't change it till half-time, and they scored after about 23 minutes, Sheffield United, and we still played another 22 minutes or so with Jones on the pitch, and he should have changed it then. And I think, whilst it is a criticism of Ole, it's also an observation of his naivety and inexperience, which we all accepted and we all take on board. So we can't moan about it. We said Ole should get the job. He's going to have to learn on the job. And I think that exposes him. The thing is, and I go back to what I was saying before, is Ole the right man for Manchester United? Will he learn from these mistakes, or will he never learn from these mistakes? Because Mourinho is one of the few managers in world football who will just go after 20 minutes, that ain't working, you're coming off. There are a lot of managers who won't do it. And Ole might never be that manager, but hopefully he will be, because if you're the boss, you're the one who gets sacked. When Mourinho got sacked, did any other players go with him? Did any other player get kicked out of the club with Mourinho? Did any other club get kicked out of the club with Van Gaal? A few of them bloody well should be, but they remain. They remain for the next manager to come in and do whatever. Ole, if he gets sacked, will be sacked. Phil Jones won't be sacked with him. Matic won't be sacked with him. They'll still be here if we haven't sold them. So Ole's got to do what's best. Going back to that statement there, I make every decision which I think's best for United. Well, at the weekend and in previous games this season, you've made bad decisions that weren't good for United. And I hope he learns from that. And I hope if it's not working, he does have the confidence to make a first half substitution. Going back to the press conference, then we're going to talk about Bruno Fernandes as well. He spoke about Max Taylor. Now, Max Taylor is the lad who a year ago was having chemotherapy. A wonderful story that he's part of the United squad for this game, of course. He said that he's an inspiration and football holds no fear for him because he's seen real fear. This is a real life story. I saw somebody on Twitter today saying that this is a smoke screen. It's a nice story for everyone to feel happy and warm about, so that we take our attention from the inadequacy of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think that's cynical. It is an opinion. I don't agree with it. This is a story. I make no apologies for being drawn in by a story like this. This is somebody who, let's be honest, could have died and has beaten that illness and is now playing for Manchester United Football Club. He was before, obviously, but a year later he's still playing for Manchester United Football Club, and he's now potentially going to play minutes tomorrow, which I think he will. This is a good story. This is football and good coming together, and I have no problems with this. I like this story. Nobody's blind to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's inadequacies. We're not the Muppets online who are being told who to vote for in the election, and just because someone's got a blue tick, everyone's going, oh, I'll do it. Manchester United fans actually have got a brain, and Manchester United fans are very much aware of the issues with Solskjaer, and they sit on whichever side they want to sit. This, with Max Taylor, is just a wonderful story, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is right. Football holds no fear for him because he's had real fear in his life with a battle for his own life. So, really, really, really touching words and really inspirational words, and really inspirational for Max Taylor. I hope we do see him tomorrow. Signed players, we've done that. Bernard, Cup competition from Flex. What a question that was. While I'm loving the young players and dream debuts, they really should be plying their trade on loan to find their level instead of covering for depth, says Mr. Beast. Some of these young players would never be on loan anyway. Ethan Laird, Deshaun Bernard, Levitt maybe could be on loan. A lot of these, Ramsini, Mella, they wouldn't be on loan at that age. I mean, they're all like 17, 18, so they wouldn't be on loan at this stage. They are proper youth players. I think Gomez, Chong, Greenwood, Garner, they're on a different level to these other young players in relation to their development paths, and maybe they could be on loan. So I would disagree with the loan in relation to a lot of these young players. I have got nothing but praise for United in relation to this opportunity that's been presented itself. We have qualified. We've got 3 Premier League games in 6 days to come. It's a massive trek to Kazakhstan. It's a perfect opportunity to play these young players. A lot of them will never play first team football for United. We saw this with Mourinho and the last game of the season against Crystal Palace. where he played a load of young players, and literally one of the players who scored was sold that very summer. So it doesn't mean they're going to play for United in the future, but it is an opportunity for them that I'm excited about. Anyone saying give Ollie time is deluded, says Jazz Singh. And what do you expect from a Bodag? Oh, God. Whatever. You know nothing about me, you twat. I know it applies to a few, but I do... Mr. Beast, you didn't finish your sentence. Ollie's taken a very big risk in putting out a young team against FC Astana, says Justin Nightingale. Well, look... Watch the preview I did yesterday about that one. But let me just talk about Bruno Fernandes for a moment, because I was doing a watch-along last night for Real Madrid versus PSG, and it came out that Bruno Fernandes has signed a new contract with Sporting Lisbon. Now, obviously, this is a player I don't expect Manchester United to sign anymore anyway. This is a player that we chose not to sign in the summer. If the stories are correct, our recruitment experts, who I was talking about last night, these same recruitment experts that we've had at the club for a decade, who have consistently failed for a decade, and who Woodward sided with over Mourinho, these experts in recruitment have apparently said we shouldn't have signed Bruno Fernandes and told us not to sign Bruno Fernandes because he takes too many risks. Yes, what a fantastic decision that was. However, Bruno Fernandes has now signed a new contract at Sporting Lisbon. He now has a release clause. I don't think he had a release clause before. I lie, he did. He did. His release clause is 100 million euros, and it always has been. This has sent a lot of people into panic. What's happened with Bruno Fernandes is that he has signed a new contract and he's increased his wages. Nothing else has changed. His contract is pretty much the same as it was in the summer. His release clause is around 100 million euros, but Sporting Lisbon will take 60 million. He still wants to move to the Premier League. He's just signed a new contract to get better wages and better terms. He will still leave Sporting Lisbon at some point. What I would say is that he's not going to go in January. This contract basically nullifies that. He'll go next summer. But I think United have missed the boat on this because of their experts saying he takes too many risks. I never thought he was an option for United in January. He was an option and is an option for United, but I don't think United will go back there. And he won't move in January. So if he signed the new contracts now, basically the end of November, I don't see him going in January. He'll probably go next summer. And as I said last summer when we pulled out the deal, I expect he'll probably go to Chelsea, maybe Spurs. But United have blown that one. And the ship sank in the summer. Thank you to our football recruitment experts. You're doing a fine, fine job. Your CV has got more holes in it than a bloody dartboard. Look up Rodolfo Pizarro, good Mexican CAM, 16 million to Santiago Briantas. Rodolfo Pizarro, well, unless his name is Ralph Peters, he's got no chance of coming to United because he hasn't got a British passport. What do you think of... would you rather a world-class midfielder or striker, says King Kavanagh? We need a midfielder. We need a midfielder at Manchester United. I don't get why our priority is a striker when the midfield is as bad as it is. It's awful. We need a midfielder in the summer. In January. We need two. Tonali is a good midfielder. He is harsh. Bruno Diaz and Bruno Fernandes to Spurs, says Elizabeth Williams. Pogba's gone in the summer. Who should replace him, Mark, says Zach Teller. Mate, as a United fan at the moment, I'm buzzing for the game tomorrow because I just think it's one of these odd... We've got a very odd game tomorrow, but a very nice odd game. It's a 4:00 kickoff, which you very rarely get. It's a team of youngsters that many of you will never have seen before, and I've certainly never seen a lot of these players play first team football before because a lot of them haven't. I'm excited to see Chong, I'm excited to see Gomez, I'm excited to see Greenwood, and then you've got people like Gunnar, who we've hardly seen but is considered experienced. Levitt, a lot of good things said about him. Really like Ethan Laird. Deshaun Bernard, let's see what he's all about. Luke Shaw's back. Twansibi. I'm very excited to see this game, but it's a bubble game. It's a bubble. It's a positivity bubble in a season that, to be honest with you, has been a muddy field of crap. And tomorrow afternoon, we get a real just a buzz, a positivity buzz. There's no result in that game that can harm us. And then, after that, you've got Villa, Spurs, City. What a week that is. We've got to take at least 6 points from those 3 games. Then you've got 4 or 5, 6 games before we even hit January. Then you've got a January transfer window. So talking to me about the summer, there's way too much to go on in the immediate future before I start thinking about the summer, to be honest with you. I'm so annoyed about tomorrow. I got college, so I'll miss most of the games, says Jordan Harbour. Yeah, I know what it's like. I accept that. I know what you mean. Let me just see if I've had a message from Flex. So as a recap, please do smash a like on the video, because we did actually get a question by Flex answered by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the press conference. We are over there, of course. The United stand is over there in for the Astana game. There's a video hopefully going to go up tonight, probably about 9 o'clock tonight. I think it will go up. We've got access to the training. We had access to the press conference. We've interviewed Astana's director of football. Really great trip so far for Flex and Josh. We've been in contact with people from Astana for a few weeks now, and they've really wanted us to get in behind the scenes and show about their club. They're very excited about United being there. So just really good videos to come up. And it's just nice. We've had a bad season, and it's nice to have a bit of positivity and getting a question answered by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. I will clip that up and put it up onto our socials, actually, for you to all to watch. But basically, Flex messaged me about an hour before the press conference and said, I'm going to try and get a question, what should it be? And I went, how long till you're sacked? No, and then I said, seriously, we've done bad in the league. Are the cups now the priority because we're doing well in them? And Ollie said himself, the cups are a chance to win something. We can't win the league, so we're taking them very seriously. And I think this season, the reason I wanted that question asked is because I personally think that's what we're doing. I think if you read what Ollie's been saying or listen to what Ollie's been saying these last few weeks, there's no real commitment or conviction in relation to getting into the top 4. I don't believe the club feel that they can get top 4. I think Europa League is our chance of Champions League football. And that is very important if you want a Jadon Sancho, because he will not come if we're not in the Champions League. So the Europa League is very important for United, which is why, for me, if you get Pogba back and you get everybody fit, have we got a chance of winning the Europa League? We've got a chance. If you get Pogba back and you sign another midfielder in the January transfer window, have we got a chance of winning the Europa League? We've got a better chance. So it's very important. With our team lacking leadership, where do we find it? Haaland or Sancho won't bring it. I'd say Ndidi, Eriksen, Bruno. What are your thoughts, says Mr. Beast? Well, Gary Neville has said that himself, and he's spot on about this. We do need to sign experienced players at Manchester United. That is what we need to do. And where are these experienced players that we're linked to? Haaland is young. Sancho is young. Maddison is young. Mandzukic is an old OAP. We're not actually... We saw it at the weekend against Sheffield United. Look at this team that's going out there tomorrow. The leadership is Lingard. He's not a leader. So even in the first team, who are the leaders? We don't... Oh, McTominay's a future captain. Oh, is he? Just because he starts having fights on the pitch and goes like this. Come on. That's not leadership. Leadership is organisation. Leadership is many things. It's not... Potentially he could be a leader, but we need leaders now. McTominay cannot be a leader when he's not even established his own form yet. He sometimes plays brilliantly, he sometimes plays badly. You need... A leader is a consistent performer. Look at Roy Keane, consistently brilliant. Steve Bruce, consistently brilliant. Cantona, consistently brilliant. Vidic, consistently brilliant. That's what John Terry, Gerrard, name all the good captains. They're consistently in charge of their own game so much that they can take control of the other people's games. This was the problem with Rooney as a captain. He had all the attributes to be a captain, but by the time he got the captaincy, he was already on the decline as a player. So how can you lead when your own performances aren't consistent? United need to sign some leaders, but we're not linked to any leaders. Like Bruno Fernandes, his age probably could be a leader. But who else are we linked to? We're not going to get him. So who are we going for? I personally think Emre Can's worth a shout. I do. I've said it. I know he's played for Liverpool, but I personally think he is the one that we should be going for. He's available. He's at Juventus. He's mid-20s. He's won things. He's Premier League proven. He's physical. I think he is exactly what United should go for. And it's not ideal. It's not ideal. In an ideal world, I wouldn't be going anywhere near ex-Liverpool players. But this is not an ideal world. And we need to get some experience into that team. Definitely. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Really, really enjoyable video today. Bit of a longer press conference reaction. Apologies for that. But watch out. We have got a behind-the-scenes Astana vlog coming up later on this evening for you. And if anybody's interested, I'm doing a Chelsea versus Valencia watch-along on That's Football at 6 o'clock tonight. That's an early kick-off as well. 4 o'clock tomorrow, UK time, for Astana. Can't wait for that. Very, very interested to watch that game. I'm sure a lot of you will be joining us with us. Smash a like on the video. We're nearly at 1,000 likes, so if everyone hits the like button now, we'll do it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Really good chat. Really enjoyed it. And finally, I'm just going to answer this. People might not get this because they might have already gone. Singh says, Mark, please explain why you're not Ollie out. Saying because he won't get fired isn't a reason. Hypocritical when you say give time, chapter not over. I don't know how many times you've watched the show because I have explained it so many times. And unfortunately, you've had your message deleted by Alex. Alex, that's a bit unfair. I wouldn't have deleted that or timed him out, to be fair. I thought it was a relevant question, but fair play. I've said so many times why I'm not Ollie out. I just don't feel like the story's been told yet. I feel that it would be too early to sack him. So when I say Ollie out, it means I want him sacked. When I said Van Gaal out, I wanted him sacked. When I said Mourinho out, I wanted him sacked. I don't think anybody ever talks about this. When you're saying Ollie out, does that mean you want him sacked? Because do I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked at the moment? No. Because I don't see anything changing if we sack him now. I think he has to sack himself. If he goes and loses to Spurs and City, I think you've got to sack him, regardless of the Villa result. But he's got to sack himself for me to be saying Ollie out. He's got to go and do more than he's done to be sacked. I totally get the concerns, and I am very concerned. And I don't like the give it time thing because you've got to deliver now. But I'm not Ollie out because I'm not saying sack him right now. I still feel the story has not been told. There is a little bit left. I think we've had the opening scene, which was great. We've now had the middle chapter, which is crap. What's the final chapter? Will he turn? And the final chapter could well be next week, or it could be December, or it could be May. The reality is, if he gets a good result, draws, good result, lose, he's going to stay in his job. If he hits a bad form again, he'll probably be gone. So I'll be Ollie out when I want him to be sacked. And at the moment, I still feel there's a part of me going, it would be a little bit early. Beyond all that, if you sack him, you've still got the same clowns in charge. And that is where real change happens. That's what's got to happen, but won't happen. So even if we do sack Ollie, and you bring in Pochettino or whoever, they're still going to be hindered by the clowns upstairs. Half-ass Mohammed says, since 12-13 champions, top 4 team, now a mid-table club, what's next? Relegation. The trajectory is scary. I hope we don't sink any lower. And you know what, Half-ass and everybody else, and welcome to Simpson Canary, the latest member. For anybody out there who is Ollie out, that's your opinion, and I respect it. And if you are Ollie out, he will be out soon. Because if he's as bad as everyone thinks he is, he's not going to get the results he needs to get in the next week. A week on Saturday, he could be gone. Well, he won't be gone on then, but if he loses to Spurs and he loses to City, how can he stay in a job? We will be firmly in the bottom half of the table if he loses those 2 games. So he's got to produce. It's a massive week for United. But tomorrow, Astana, we get a little bubble of positivity, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Watch out for the vlog that's coming up. It's going to be really good. You should get to see quite a few of these young lads in training, and Flex will be there, so you might get a word with some of them. I'll speak to you all soon.